How much money did you spend on food last month? Hundreds? Maybe even over $1,000? And I'm not just talking groceries. I mean coffee runs, date nights, DoorDash, even that $14 smoothie you knew was a ripoff, but still ordered anyway. All that adds up fast. And that's why this matters. If food is one of your biggest expenses, and for most people it is, then picking the right card can be the difference between saving hundreds or leaving money on the table. Now, there are a lot of options out there, but for me, the two real heavy hitters when it comes to food spend are the Capital One Savor Rewards and the Amex Gold. And today we're putting them head to head. We'll break down each card, where they shine, where they fall short, and then run a real spend analysis to see which one actually comes out on top. And at the end, I'll share my personal thoughts and give you my experience using the Savor Rewards. Plus, you'll get my pick based on your spending and lifestyle habits about which one I recommend for you. And trust me, the break even point between these two isn't where most people think it is. So now that we know how quickly food spending stacks up, let's talk about why this comparison matters. Most people look at these two cards and think it's simple. One choice is bigger multipliers, the other is no annual fee. But there's something people skip over, and once you see it, the whole conversation shifts. Now, you've basically got two types of card holders when it comes to earning money on food spend. There's the person who wants everything on autopilot, one card, no thinking, and steady rewards. And then there's the person chasing the highest return possible, even if it means using credit or learning redemption strategies. Neither approach is wrong, but they can lead to different outcomes. The real difference? It's not about which card looks better on paper. It's about which card fits your lifestyle and spend habits better. Now, if you match the wrong card to your spend habits, you overpay for perks you don't use or miss out on rewards you could have earned every month. I've seen people pick the Amex Gold thinking it's automatically the best food card. Meanwhile, they're barely using the credits and spending $200 a month on dining. In that situation, the math doesn't work in their favor. And it's the exact reason why the gold can either be a monster or a money pit. So, with that foundation in place, let's break down exactly what each card brings to the table, starting with the Amex Gold. Now, this is a card people either absolutely love or get overwhelmed by. And it can be truthfully one of the best everyday cards on the market, but only if you understand how to use it. If you don't, that $325 annual fee starts to feel a lot heavier than it needs to. The Amex Gold gets you 4x on dining, 4x on US supermarkets up to 25K per year, 3x on flights, and 2x on hotels booked directly through Amex. You also get a $100 Resi credit split semi-annually, an $84 Dunkin' credit split up into $7 per month, a $120 Uber Cash credit at $10 per month, and a $120 dining credit at $10 per month for places like Grubhub. That's all for a $325 annual fee. And I'm not factoring in sign-up bonuses into which card actually wins here, but the gold can come with up to a 100,000 membership reward point bonus for 6K in spend in 6 months, which is huge if you can hit it. Now, these multipliers are some of the best in class, but if you aren't consistently using the credits, the actual cost of owning the card might not make sense. Now, where the gold really separates itself is with membership rewards points. These are extremely valuable when transferring to partners like Delta, JetBlue, Hilton, or Marriott. And a lot of good redemptions can fall between 1.8 and 2.2 cents per point. So that 4x multiplier can really behave like a 7 or 8% back when you understand transfer partners and how to redeem strategically. Now let's flip the approach, because the Savor Rewards takes the opposite path. This card is the definition of simple and predictable. No drama, no juggling credits, no mental overhead. Some people want the maximum upside, but others want the card they never have to think about. They want something that gives them a solid return, and the Savor Rewards is perfect for that second group. It gives you 3% on dining, groceries, and streaming and entertainment, plus 1% everywhere else, all with a $0 annual fee, and depending on your credit profile, you can get up to a $200 bonus when you spend your first $500 on the card. Now, where this card wins is simplicity. You're sacrificing top-end multipliers, but you're getting reliable cashback in 3 major categories with no credits to track or hassle with annual fees. And if you can pair it with a Venture or Venture X card, you can convert that cashback to Capital One miles. Now, I've had the Savor Rewards for about 6 months now when I product changed my Quick Silver into it, and I've been really enjoying it so far. For me, the two things I love are the simplicity for groceries and the streaming and entertainment multipliers. I put services like Peacock on it for the 3% back, and through the Capital One Entertainment portal, I've gotten some crazy rewards. For example, I just bought Islander tickets for my family and got 8% back there. Now that we know the multipliers and exactly what these cards offer, let's take a look at the strengths and weaknesses, because that makes the break even part way easier to follow. The Amex Gold offers you extremely strong earning rates in food and groceries, transferable points without needing a second card, and credits that offset a big chunk of the annual fee. It's great for high spenders, families, and people who want to build out an Amex ecosystem. Where it struggles is you have to keep up with all the credits. There's also a learning curve when it comes to understanding transfer partners. Amex can sometimes struggle to be accepted internationally, and it's also easy to overestimate the value of the credits if they don't fit into your life naturally. Now, the Savor Reward shines with its zero annual fee, straightforward 3% categories, and zero credit tracking. And it's perfect for a beginner friendly setup. But as a standalone card, there's no real travel upside unless you can pair it with a Venture or Venture X. Also, the perks are limited, and the long term potential is a little bit more capped compared to Amex. Alright, now let's settle this properly. Because the way these cards perform in real life comes down to your actual spending. This is where everything comes together, because the numbers don't lie. Now here's the easiest way to figure out the break even between these two cards. The Gold earns an effective 7.2% back roughly when you redeem membership rewards points well. The Savor earns 3% or 3.7% if you can convert them to miles. So depending on whether you're choosing cashback or miles, the Gold has an advantage of between 4.2% or 3.5% respectively. Taking this into account, your break even is your effective annual fee divided by the Gold's advantage. Here's what that looks like. With no Gold credits being used, the break even is about $650 per month in food spend, and that's if you're just comparing it to cashback. Now, if you can convert that cashback to miles, the break even jumps to about $775 a month. But let's say you can use about half the Gold's credits, right? Full resi, half the Uber and the dining. Then the effective annual fee drops to $165, and the break even becomes about $325 a month when comparing to cashback. Now, assuming you're comparing using half the credits to the Savor card where you're converting to miles, the break even becomes about $390 per month. That's it. If you know your monthly spend, how you'll use the credits, and whether or not you'll be using cash or miles if you go with the Savor, the choice becomes obvious. So you need to ask yourself two things. Number one, if you get the Gold, will you use any of the credits naturally? And number two, if you get the Savor, are you taking cashback or pairing it with a Venture card to unlock miles and transfer partners? Once you know those answers, choosing the right card is easy. But even with the math, there are a few real-world factors that matter. Amex gets denied in a lot of places internationally, and in some small shops, so you may need a backup card. Amex has stronger partners and offers, but both issuers have solid extras. You also need to decide if you want cashback or points, if you want to manage credits, and what ecosystem you want to build in long term. Amex membership reward points or Capital One miles. Now, I'd argue the math makes up about 75% of the decision. The other 25% is your long term goals and how much effort you want to put into managing this stuff. So, with all that being said, here's the clean answer on which card gets my pick. I would pick the Amex Gold if you spend about $350 plus a month on food and can use at least half the credits naturally. You value Amex transfer partners and you want to build a long-term membership reward strategy. I pick the Savor if you want simple cashback with no annual fees, or you plan to build out a Capital One duo with the Venture X. Plus, if you're a beginner or you don't want to track credits. Now, at this point, you should have a clear picture of how these cards stack up and why the Gold can be incredible or disappointing depending on how you use it. So the real takeaway is simple. The best card is the one that matches your actual lifestyle and real food spending, not the one that looks best on paper. Now, if you plan to pick up either of these cards, I have links in the description that'll take you to the official pages with the most up-to-date offers. Using those links comes at no cost to you and helps support the channel, so I appreciate it if you use it. And if this video helped you out at all, hit that like and subscribe button. I post content like this every week to help build smarter, more optimized wallets. I appreciate you all and hope you have a blessed day. Peace.